Welcome to All Horse Racing All the Time. I'm Alan, your host. Big day of racing today at Woodbine, the King's Plate Stakes, a $1 million stakes for 3-year-olds. Now, this is the oldest race in Canada, began in 1860, and it's the oldest, most continuously run race in North America. Canada, south of America, and of course, America itself. Big race, King's Plate Stakes, limited to 3-year-olds, foaled in Canada. And in this video, I'm going to present 3 long shots who can take this King's Plate Stakes. I've looked over, there are 13 entries. One thing jumps out at me. None of these entries have experience at 1.25 miles. We're going to get right into this, waste no time, cut to the chase. I'm going to give you 3 long shots who can take this race. Let's take a look at it. All righty. Here we see the PPs, Brisnet PPs for this King's Plate Stakes. Plain and simple, 1.25 miles. All the races are on the synthetic track, all-weather track. Purse $1 million for 3-year-olds, foaled in Canada. One thing that jumps out at me right from the get-go here, I'm not sure if this is a weak year for 3-year-olds in Canada. I know it is for 3-year-olds in America. But I'm looking at the Brisnet numbers of every single entry, including the 2 favorites. We'll go to one of the favorites right here, both favorites. Essex Serpent, top Brisnet number in its latest race, a 90. You can see it right there. If you look at, say, the Kentucky Derby entrance, and they said that was a weak field, almost a ton of horses in that field are faster than this. So these are no world beater 3-year-olds in here. We're going to start with that right here, right now. But we'll take a look. The 2 favorites in this race, Essex Spirit, a 2-to-1 shot, number 3, trained by none other than Mark Casse. Mark Casse looking for his 4th King's Plate Stakes victory. Tremendous trainer. He has multiple entries here, and he has also the 7-to-5 shot, My Boy Prince. Mark Casse again keeps the jock. Sahin Savachi. Okay, so I see a few of them that can beat these horses. What do the 2 favorites have in common that I believe make them somewhat vulnerable? They're front runners in this race. Now, Essex Spirit comes off a 1 1/16 mile, where Wired the Field showed tremendous speed, early speed, more early speed than he had in his previous 2 races. Okay, so you got that one, 2-to-1 shot. And out of the 2 Casse favorites, by the way, I believe that the 3 Essex Spirit at 2-to-1 would overhaul the 7-to-5 shot, My Boy Prince. So we'll get that out of the way right here, right now. And My Boy Prince, you look at this one, showed the tremendous speed, 2 back, wiring the field, likes to go to the front. Has high Brisnet numbers. He has a 98 going back to August of last year, and at 6.5 furlongs, and he did pop a 91 in November of last year, and a 93. What do his races where he has run a 90-something have in common? After his 90 runs a figure over 90, the first time 98, he dropped back and ran in the 80s for a couple of races, 86, 82. Then he ran a 91. He ran an 86, 88 afterwards. Now he ran a 93 in June. Then he comes back with an 87. He did win, but it wasn't one of his stellar efforts. Probably takes him a little bit of time to bounce back. So, number 1, My Boy Prince. Not only will he be pressed, there's some other speeds in here that could hurt him and go after him, tire him at 1.25 miles. And the same goes for his other 2-to-1 shot. But as per his pattern here, it's probably going to take him another race to regroup and come back to that 90 and above figure, speed. So right there, I think he's up against it. And these 2 horses, Essex Spirit, and My Boy Prince. They're going to have some fun here with Friendly Ghost, who's another one that likes to go to the front. And this one ran at 1.125 miles and threw up an 85 and has been on the improve. You know it can get the 1.25 miles because he's already got the 1.125 miles. He's a front runner. As you saw there, nearly wired the field. If it was a little bit shorter, who knows? He might have hung on. He was there by a length into the stretch. So My Boy Prince and the other one, Essex Spirit Serpent, they're going to have some company up front. So that's why I think the two favorites can be up against it here and can be beaten. And it's not just that there's other speed in here early that like to go to the front that'll give them some company. I mean, they'll give each other company. It's that the speed figures are not so much so of a standout over the other horses in this race. So you got some early speed in here, might be knocking heads. And I'm going to give you now 3 that have a shot to take this race. And we will begin right now with one of them. And the pace sets up perfect. Number 2, Raffaroo. It's a closing type. It's a closing type. You see, it was back, closed to second. At the second call in its last race, it was 5th place, 6 back, ends up losing second by 1.25. And then its first race, maiden race, was 4.5 back, comes in second place, closing. So this fits the bill here. And as far as the speed goes, making its 3rd start, lightly raced, and has every right to improve here moving forward. Comes off a nice workout, 16th out of 75, 1 minute 0.3, 5 furlongs on August 10th. So the running style fits this race. The trainer, all right, he's 11% at Woodbine. Harold Lodacure, 9% overall. 2 career races, 2 seconds. Closes, fits this race. And of course, the synthetic plays a lot like turf. So it's a good surface for closers, especially here at 1.25 miles. We know this one can get the distance. Number 2, Raffaroo, 8-1. 8-1, live, longer one to upset the 2 Cassies. Now, who's the next one? Long shot number 2. Long shot number 2. We're going to go right to number 4, Caitlin, Her Greatness. Okay, number 4, Caitlin, Her Greatness. Now, this one opens at 12-1 for Kevin Attard, very strong trainer. 16% here at Woodbine, going back 168 races. 2024, he's at 16%. Rafael Hernandez up 20%. Jock at the track, going back 259 races and 19% for the year. Made his first start on the synthetic here at Woodbine at 1.125 miles. Number 1, that says this one can get the distance. Number 2, this one has some speed and can carry that speed. And it's another one that, when push comes to shove, can take the 2 favorites who have never run not even 1.25 miles. This one has run 1.125 miles. This one can hang around with them and possibly put them away, and has the second highest Brisnet power ranking. And you're getting a price, 12-1, Caitlin, Her Greatness. Just fits. Now, you're looking at the 87. It's coming up now. It comes off an 87 Brisnet. 85, 87. This one was previously trained by none other than Todd Pletcher. And this trainer here, Tard, has turned this one around. When Pletcher had it, got off to a nice start with a couple good figures, good races, and then kind of drifted back. And Tard brought this one back. Yeah, ran in February, had a few months off with Tard, and goes to Woodbine, makes his first start in months. July 6th, comes in first by 2 3/4. That's at 7.5 furlongs. That was on turf. Goes to the synthetic 1.125 miles, loses by a neck. Any shorter wins. It was up by a length and a half going into the stretch. So look for this one to getting its second crack on the surface. That is going to help. Look at the workout Caitlin had on the August 1st. First of 11, 5 furlongs, 58.3. 58.3. August 10th, the latest workout, 8th of 75, 1 minute. This one is wound up and ready to go. Looking for another step forward. Doesn't have to go up much to overtake the favorite, My Boy Prince, coming off an 87, has a 93. And remember what we talked about with My Boy Prince. After a big effort over 90, he toils somewhat in the 80s. And My Boy Prince has the other speeds to contend with, has to worry about the distance. Not so with number 4, Caitlin Her Greatness. So that's long shot number 2, Caitlin Her Greatness, coming in at 12-1. And the third one is actually another Mark Cassie entry. Midnight Mascot, number 5, opens at 10-1. This is another one whose running style can kind of stay close if he wants to, but kind of can hang back and close too. 8 career races, 7 in the money, 2 wins, 2 seconds, and 3/3, all of them at Woodbine. Now, this one was closing. The last race at Woodbine went 1 mile and a 16th, was 8 back at the second call. Entering the stretch, seventh place, 8 back. In the stretch, 4th place, entering the stretch, 4th place, 4.5 back. Finishes 3rd, only 2 back. This is 1 mile and 16th, coming on like a train. 1.25 miles at that rate would have caught the winner. And the winner of that race was Essex a Serpent, the other Cassie, number 3, that opens at 2-1. Now, and that one ran a 90 that race, and the Midnight Mascot ran an 88. What about if we go a little bit longer? Midnight Mascot gaining on the leader. That's going to be the case to get today. So Midnight Mascot gets the extra distance, has the running style that can do this. We've seen him come back and run down horses before, like on April 28th at Woodbine. Comes 4th place at the second call. In second place, 1.5 back, entering the stretch. Ends up winning by 3/4 of a length. The race before that ran an 89 at Woodbine. Entering the stretch, 3 back, 3rd place, comes in second, loses by a neck. Jockey Kazushi Kamoru, top-notch jockey, 17% here. And, of course, you got Mark Cassie, 23% for the meet here, 253 races. Midnight Mascot, 10-1. That's another shot here, and that's number 5. So we'll sum it up here. These are the 3 long shots that can win the race. Can they win this race and get you some money? You can play your multi-race plays here. Use all 3 of them. It's, if you really wanted to go a step further and throw in another one, a bonus one, number 6, Friendly Ghost. Friendly Ghost, another one ran at 1 mile and 1/8, and he finished 3rd in that same. He finished 3rd in his last race at 1 mile and 1/8. So the distance is no problem with Friendly Ghost, and he's an early speed type. Damn near wired the field. Entered the stretch in 1st place at 1 mile and 1/8 by 1. Comes in 3rd, 2.25 back. Nothing wrong with that. Justin Stein, the jock. Okay, the jock is light. Yeah, comes in light, 8% here. And the trainer, 11%. Chartrand, 11% jock, but very little body of work. All-weather track, though, 15%, this trainer. But number 6, as far as hitting the board, why not? Going to be running up there with the other ones, the 2 faves, giving them fits, as will the 4. But my main 3, the 3 long shots who I like best to upset the favorite. Number 2 in the King's Plate Stakes. Number 2, Raffaru, 8-1. Number 4, Caitlin Her Greatness, 12-1. And number 5, Midnight Mascot, 10-1. So those are your long shots who can get it done here in the King's Plate Stakes. I want to wish everyone the best of luck. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the races today and win big. Talk with you soon.